Good morning, Year 9. This is Mr. Foster Smith. Just going to deliver a short assembly on your upcoming option choices. So just to let you know, this assembly is going to be all about your options, the information you're going to receive, what the process is going to look like, and then hopefully at the end of this video, you'll receive your first pack of information, the information booklet. We can start the process of choosing your options for Key Stage 4. So to give you a bit of an overview of where you are, this is you right now. You are towards the end of your Year 9, so you're finishing at the moment your Key Stage 3 study. You're about to make your choices, and the choices that you make will lead you through into Key Stage 4. So at this point here, we're at our first phase of making choices. This is the first opportunity for you to personalise your educational pathway. Now in Key Stage 4, we have core subjects. Those are subjects that everyone will carry on studying. But you will also have 4 option choices. And those option choices will see you through Year 10 and Year 11 to the end of Key Stage 4. Now with the core subjects as well as your options, you then have the future you, where you have the opportunity to go on to college, take an apprenticeship, or come on to sixth form here at the Radcliffe School and start studying with further education. And that can lead you to your career, higher education, and so on from there. So every stage we progress forwards, your educational pathway becomes more personalised, and this is the first opportunity that's going to lead you to future you. Okay? So here's some advice we'd like to give you in this process. Okay? When deciding your options, I'd like you to have a few things in mind. First of all, if you've got a pathway or career in mind, that's going to be your starting point. We'd like you to research what would be required for that pathway or that subject. Okay. See if there are any subjects that are going to help you be supported along that pathway. Now at this point here, we're not expecting everyone to have really thought about what career they might want to take, or even what Key Stage 5 subjects they might want to lead on to. And you'll notice here that quite often with your Key Stage 4 choices, whatever you choose, they generally link background and keep your options open. But just as a little sort of word of advice here, there are some subjects that you'd absolutely need for progression. So if you know you want to study history A level, you must choose history for GCSE to allow that pathway to stay open. So if you've got some subjects or a career in mind, think about that, get informed about what subjects are required, and use that to help you make your choice. Secondly, study subjects you enjoy. Okay? If you study subjects you enjoy, it's going to support your engagement in this subject, it's going to help support progress in this subject, and it leads to a happier and more successful student. These are all things that are positive, and they're all things we want to make sure that we have here at the Radcliffe School. So think about the subjects that get you excited, think about the subjects that you enjoy, and start putting them down as your potential options. Okay? Finally, have a think about what you can be successful in. Okay? If there are subjects that you know you're going to get a lot of joy out of, then this is going to set you up for having the most doors open for your progression and preparation towards your next steps. So these are the 3 key decision-making tools to have in mind. The last thing I want to warn you about is not to be influenced by what your friends are choosing. So we cannot guarantee what class you're going to be in, and if you follow what your friends are choosing, you won't necessarily be in their class. Along with that, you might not necessarily enjoy the subjects as much as others, and as we've seen here, that might not lead to the happiest student possible. Okay? So don't be influenced by what your friends are choosing. Don't be the sheep falling off the cliff. Make sure you're choosing your own pathway for positive reasons. So we're not going to lead you towards these options blind. We're going to give you some opportunity to be informed about your choices. The more informed you are, the better the choices you're going to make. So first thing that you're going to receive, and that will happen today after this assembly, is an information booklet. You'll see that the booklet will tell you about the core subjects that everyone will be studying, but it will also have information about each of the option subjects that you can choose from. Read through what skills you'll develop, what the course content is going to be, how it will be assessed, and potential progression routes through to more education or career pathways that could come from those subjects. All of that information is going to help you think about whether you're going to enjoy the subject, whether it's going to help you on your pathway, and whether you want to choose it. Okay, so this is the first port of call. As we go through this process, once you've made those initial thoughts, it's sensible to try to gather further information, and we'll come to that later. Now, once you've picked through all that information, later this week you will also receive an introduction letter. That letter will explain again in writing what this process is undertaking. It will show explicitly what the option blocks are, and it will also include the date for your interview. Okay. Now, both the letter, the information booklet, and this assembly will be up on the website. So if you forget any information here, or if you lose anything, you'll be able to go to our website and you'll be able to find information. So we're offering more support than just that initial booklet. Okay. Once you've had a read through and you've had a thought about what subjects you might be interested in, it's over to you. Do some more research, and that can include using the staff we've got here at school. Now, your tutors and the house team will know you incredibly well. So if you want to talk about what subjects would fit your passions and the discussions that you've had with about careers and etc., they're good people to start talking with. Okay. Now, if you know you've got certain subjects in mind, but you want to find out a little bit more detail about those subjects, then organise a conversation with the subject staff. Find out a little bit more what the content's about, how it's delivered, and whether you're going to get the most enjoyment and progress out of it. Now, we're also incredibly lucky here at the Radcliffe School. We've got Mrs. Kane, and she is an expert when it comes to curriculum pathways, progression, and careers. So if you need some of those more difficult questions being answered, absolutely you should set up a conversation with Mrs. Kane. In the booklet, you'll find her email address, and she's in the office that's in the sixth form block. So you'll be able to set up a conversation with her. Finally, and we'll come to this in just a second, you'll be offered an options interview. Hopefully at that point you'll have made up your mind and had some informed decision making behind it, but you'll be put in front of a senior member of staff via a Teams interview. That senior member of staff will be able to look at your historic data and have a discussion, answer any further questions you've got, and be able to fine-tune your option choices. Okay, so there's plenty of support on offer and a lot of time to make the most of that support. But the time does come to an end, and our deadlines are going to be firm. So by the time you come to your interview and those options are confirmed with that member of staff, they will be firm. So please do make sure that you are informed before you go to that interview. If you're informed, then you're going to be very clear about which decisions are right for you, and that means that you're going to be making the choices that are right for you as well. So make the most of staff, make the most of the booklet, be informed, as there won't really be an opportunity to make any changes once that deadline has passed. So this is what options will look like for the majority of you. Okay. If you see here in option A, we'll make a choice between French or German, so the language options. Option B, a choice between geography, history, or computer science. I'm going to skip to option D. This is the creative arts and creative subject option base. And then option C has a mixture of all of those elements. Now, just something I want to point out here. You can't double up subjects. So if you have chosen geography in option B, you will not be able to choose geography again in option C. So they have to be 4 distinctly unique subjects that you choose. For some of you, there will be a more bespoke option blocks given to you. Now that will be delivered via the letter that you'll receive later this week. It will be attached to that letter, and you'll have a few subtle different choices if we've got a bespoke set for you. Okay. Now the interview. This is where the decisions are made, and the interview is more like a discussion and a declaration. At the interview, you'll be given your time on your initial letter, and you'll be asked to go to the hub at that time with plenty of time to log on to Teams. If your parents have signed the reply that they want to be part of this interview, then they will also be linked to that Teams meeting. So there will be you, a senior member of staff, and potentially your parents on this team discussion. What we're asking is that you come with an idea of what your options should be. Really, you should have made your mind up by this point. If you have any questions, we would like you to come prepared with those questions so that you can ask and be proactive about the choices you've made. And finally, we ask you to be prepared to listen to the advice that the senior staff have to offer. At the end of the interview, it will take around about 10 minutes. The senior staff will agree your options with you and they will record the options online. Now remember, at this point, those options will be classed as firm and they will be set. And that will be you done. So you will be ready for your options for next year. So the timeline for you now. Today is Monday. This is our assembly. You'll be receiving your options booklet at the end of this assembly, and the letter will appear for you at some point during this week with your time of your interview. All we ask is, in the remaining 2 weeks we have left, if folks at home want to be part of the Teams interview, to return that letter as soon as possible with the best contact email address for that Teams interview to be set up. As we go through, then you'll have 2 weeks at school where you'll be able to utilise staff and have discussions about what's best for you. Then you'll have 2 weeks during the Easter break where you can use that information, do further research, and really kind of firm up your choices. And then on the 2 weeks after Easter, so starting from the 19th of April through to the 30th of April, when your interview will be, that's when you'll be submitting your options. Okay, so this is up to you now. Use all of the information you've got at hand. Make sure that you have time to research and absolutely be prepared by the time you come to your interview. So thank you very much and good luck making your choices.